get to read on all this from Senator Kevin Cramer of the beautiful state of North Dakota, Republican. As a Republican, and you're looking at this phenomenon, which, it's still too early to tell whether it's true, Senator, that this migration because of the pandemic could have a lot of blue folks going to red states, turning those red states blue. What do you think?
Well, first of all, no, thanks for having me. But this is not, well, this trend is new. There have been similar trends. I mean, much of Texas, reasoning, if you will, or the excuses you sometimes hear for them going more from red to more of a purple color is because Californians have moved out to Texas or Arizona or even places like Colorado and Montana, and they brought their blue politics with them, even though part of the reason they left California was because of blue politics, or at least the policies. Right. So I think it's certainly possible, but I think also when you move someplace, you can either influence that place or that place can influence you. So, who knows how it'll all turn out, but it's not exactly a new phenomenon.
I hear it. But, Senator, it could explain some of the tightening polls in those states, and you've been with me many years now and talking about don't pay attention to those polls. You were saying that years ago, so I get that. But are you worried that the trend in some of these polls for the president, even a poll that he relies on and has complimented in the past, Rasmussen, which called it as close as anyone 4 years ago, and is now showing a president who 2 weeks ago was up by a point nationally, is now down by a dozen points. Do you worry about this?
Yeah, there's no question. I think the polls are a little bit like the markets these days. They're very emotional depending on the news of the day or the news of the week. And you can say whatever you want about polls. Those of us that have run for office always prefer to be up in them. And trends do matter. Momentum matters, much like it does in a game of a sports game of some sort. So yeah, the trend is concerning, but at the same time, because it can trend that way that quickly, given that this is the Trump era, that Donald Trump is not just a president but a rally cry, if you will, I still remain hopeful that he can rally and turn this all around even in 4 short weeks.
We do know mail-in ballots are running at a record, Senator, 4.5 million of them recorded thus far. That's up from 75,000 4 years ago. We do know that they tip 2/3 Democratic ballots. That doesn't mean that they vote Democratic, but it could be a worrisome harbinger for the president. What do you think?
Well, I think there are a couple things. First of all, let's not forget that we were pretty hard on mail-in voting and remote voting, those kinds of things early on as a party. And I think a lot of people were sounding that alarm and saying, listen, people are going to vote. A lot of them are going to vote by mail. We need to be promoting the right kind of voting if you're going to vote by mail. And so to some degree, maybe we're suffering a little bit from our own medicine. On the other hand, it's still 4 weeks away. Whether they vote by mail or they wait until Election Day and vote, their vote still only counts once, assuming that there's not fraud, and if there isn't, it's caught. So, but it also, I think, Neil, is a little bit of a test of the mechanics of voting. Remember, much of politics and political machinery, I'm a former state party chairman, it's not just about the messaging and the persuasion, but it's also about the actual mechanics of voting, identifying voters and turning voters out. And North Dakota is not a registration state. We're the only one in the country. So for us, everybody's the same when their ballot comes in. But certainly, you'd rather see more Republicans voting early than Democrats voting early.
Senator, thank you very much. Good catching up with you. Be well, be healthy. Senator Cramer, beautiful state of North Dakota here.